Welcome to the Explainer. We're surrounded by fine print that we almost never read, right? It's in our gym memberships, our app updates, and believe it or not, even in the car park. And that's what we're digging into today.
I mean, you've totally seen a sign like this, right? Plastered on a wall somewhere or maybe on the back of a ticket. It always looks so official, so serious, but it makes you wonder.
Is that thing actually, legally binding? Can a company just put up a sign and say, poof, we're not responsible anymore? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out.
All right, so to get our heads around this, let's look at a story that just nails the whole problem. Let's talk about a guy named Enzo.
So Enzo, he parks in the same multi-story car park pretty much every day for work. It's just his routine. But then, one afternoon, he comes back and bam, his car is damaged. And we're not talking about some mystery scratch here. It is super obvious that the car park operators messed up. A really clear case of negligence on their part.
So of course, Enzo goes to complain. He's expecting them to pay for the repairs, as you would. But that's when the company just points to this big sign on the wall. And this, right here, is where things get interesting.
And just look at the wording on this thing. It is so broad. It says the company is not responsible for any damage, no matter how it is caused. Wow. I mean, that's their shield, right? Their get-out-of-jail-free card. But the real question is, will it actually work?
And that right there, that is the heart of the whole issue. It's the big legal question we're trying to answer. Just because that notice is on the wall, does that mean it's a real, actual term of the contract between Enzo and the car park?
Okay, to figure this out, we need to get a handle on a couple of key legal concepts. First, what is this sign trying to do legally? And second, and this is the big one, when exactly is the contract even made?
So in legal jargon, that sign is called an exclusion clause, and its whole purpose, its only job, is to basically exclude the company from being liable, to let them wash their hands of any responsibility. But here's the thing, these kinds of clauses have some very strict rules about when they're valid. And this is it. This is the golden rule, the single most important part of this whole puzzle. For an exclusion clause to actually be binding, you have to be told about it before the contract is formed, before you're locked in. The timing, it's literally everything.
Okay, so let's walk through what Enzo does. He drives up to the barrier, he takes a ticket from the machine, boom, right there. That is the moment the contract is made. It's the point of no return. Only after that does he drive past the sign. So you see, the company basically tried to slip in a new rule after the deal was already sealed.
Now, you'd think that's game over, right? An open and shut case for Enzo. But not so fast. In a real legal battle, both sides would have some pretty decent arguments. Let's take a look at how this legal tug-of-war would probably go down.
So on one side, you've got the car park operator. They're going to say, hey, the sign was huge, it was clear, the words mean what they mean. But their big ace in the hole is this idea of a regular course of dealing. They'll argue, look, Enzo parks here all the time. He knows the rules. But Enzo's side would fire back, saying they have a basic duty of care to protect his car, and that a clause this crazy broad is just flat out unfair. It shouldn't let them off the hook for being negligent.
So what do we have? The timing is on Enzo's side, but this regular course of dealing idea is on the company's side. So who wins? Well, the likely legal outcome here. It might not be what you're expecting.
Believe it or not, our legal sources say that Enzo may not be able to sue successfully. I know, it sounds crazy, right? It's totally counterintuitive. We just established that he saw the sign after he made the contract. So what gives?
It all comes back to that one powerful phrase, a regular course of dealing. Because Enzo isn't a first-timer, because he parks there all the time, the court is likely to assume he's had plenty of chances to see that sign on his other visits. So by continuing to use the car park, he's basically giving his implied agreement. He keeps showing up, so he's implicitly accepted their terms.
And this is why this whole thing matters so much. This isn't just some weird legal story about a guy named Enzo and his car. This idea that you can agree to something just by your regular actions, it shows up all over the place.
I mean, really think about it. That fine print on the back of an event ticket, the gym membership you signed, all those terms and conditions you just scroll right past on a software update, the little sign at the dry cleaner. These are all examples of exclusion clauses, and whether or not they're actually enforceable can come down to how many times you've been there before.
So here's the real takeaway. Your previous experience with a company can mean you've accepted their terms, even if you don't notice them every single time. The law can basically say, hey, you're a regular, you know the deal.
Your history with a place can be just as powerful as putting your signature on a dotted line.
Which kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on, right? What hidden terms are you agreeing to every single day? That coffee shop you go to every morning? The app you open without a second thought? What invisible contracts have you signed just by being a regular? It's definitely something to think about.